What's up, you guys? Welcome to this week's Manga Sutra Manga review, and in this week's video, we're going to be talking about the ending of I Am a Hero. Now, earlier this morning, I just got done finishing the series, and I have to say that my feelings towards the conclusion of this manga is different from every other series that I read up until this point. With Wolf Guy, I was upset at the ending because the main character was cliffhanged in a lab facility and we don't even know what his fate is, while his love interest is miles and miles and miles away in another country surrounded by wolves. With Bitsu, there was the implied death of the girl when she was pushed on the train tracks. Now, people have argued in my comments that the damage to the doll doesn't imply that she was killed, but to me, the cliffhanger implied it heavily. With I Am a Hero, I felt fulfilled at the end. I didn't feel any type of negative emotions. I just felt fulfilled. I felt like everything I wanted to read in a manga was right in this series, and it was concluded. I Am a Hero had, to me, the perfect amount of realism. It had the perfect amount of romance and love, and it had very adequate amounts of horror and gore, and at many points there was a lot of humanism and a lot of traits of humanity left in the ZQNs or the zombies in the series, and it just made some scenes very heartbreaking, and in some scenes it really questioned the line between life and death, and what's alive and what's dead, and what do you really do, or what would you do in that scenario. And it also had a lot of comedy to it. And you don't get that type of perfect balance that I Am a Hero manages to dish out. Now, some people have pointed out that the ending didn't really cover any of the plot holes that it had developed around the end of the series. We don't really know where the aliens came from or what happened to the invasion, why Hiromi was the queen, or better yet, why Oda's sister was able to time travel and rip out Ayura's eyeballs. We don't really get the answer to any of that. And some people feel that because they didn't get an answer to that, that the series itself was a scam or a waste of time. And to me, I don't let the plot holes get in the way of appreciating the series as a whole. To me, the series hit all of these things on the head, and it was a horror genre first and foremost. It was a zombie or infected apocalypse outbreak type of subgroup manga. It didn't have to hit comedy. It didn't have to hit romance. It didn't have to hit all of these things as great as it did, but it went above and beyond, and it covered all of these traits and all these points accurately and well. I keep going back to the point where Nakata and Hideo were talking about manga, and Hideo was saying something along the lines that the main character is supposed to take the back seat, where the reader can immerse themselves in the story and feel like they're a part of it. And when I was reading I'm a Hero, I felt all of that. I felt the relationships, that the love interest that Hideo had with Oda, Teko, Hiromi. I felt the heartbreaking scenes that Hideo had to go through. I felt the loss that he felt when some people close to him died. I even felt kind of scared at times when the infected were biting people and turning people, and, felt relieved that some people didn't turn, some people were doing fine. And I even felt intense hatred towards some characters in the series, and I will be doing a video on that soon. Like a list of the most worst characters in mangas and everything like that. But with I Am a Hero, it was just this perfect journey, this adventure. And it was a movie almost, like you were a part of. And you were seeing it through Hideo's eyes. And while we did get a lot of side stories with other characters, Hideo and Nakata and Hiromi, they were the jewels and the gems of this series. And for it to end, for it to conclude, I just felt fulfilled. I felt like everything I wanted was just out of the way, and it was done. And I don't think I can look at any other manga the same way because of that. And the way the ending went, the way the ending went, it left Hideo alone. And that was the way Hiromi wanted him to be. She didn't kill him in the end. She decided to let him live and let him experience that loneliness, to let him deal with the suffering on his own. And whether Hideo gave into his delusions or he's slowly slipping into insanity, is just it's just depressing in a way. It's depressing. But we also see that Nakata and a lot of others managed to get a good ending out of this. That a lot of them managed to create their own new civilization, and that there is a light at the end of this dark tunnel. For some characters, not all characters, but for a good amount of characters, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And that kind of softened the blow of the depressing ending with Hideo. Now, I don't know. I felt like the artist, Hanazawa Kengo, I felt like you created a masterpiece. And if you see this video, I just want you to know that what you created was, in my opinion, the best manga in the horror genre, especially when it comes to the affected outbreak or zombie apocalypse like subgenre. You created a masterpiece that hits a lot of things on the head, and I don't think I can look at any manga inside of the horror genre or within that sub genre, or any other genre of manga the same way, because the romance in it it pretty much outclassed a lot of other mangas that are primarily romance. The comedy in it was pretty great compared to other comedy mangas. A lot of things it did well, especially when it wasn't the main focus of the manga itself. While I kind of wished we did get an explanation for the invasion. I kind of wish we did get a reasoning why Hiromi was the queen, or how the Kurusus came to be, or some of these other things. But I feel like Hanazawa Kengo, with this ending, you did great. You did great, because I feel like while a lot of people want the answers, I feel that just having it up in the air is definitely it's kind of better. I feel like when we have our questions answered, it just leaves finality to it. But by not answering anything, by leaving all those plot holes there, you leave room for speculation. You leave room for theories. You leave room for a lot of creativity. Now, as far as Hideo's ending, I think another great ending for Hideo would have been for him to die. If we were really going for the full-on emotional impact and to make the reader feel super depressed, I would have, when he was creating shotgun shells and stuff for his gun, I was thinking in the back of my mind we might be going towards an ending where he commits suicide. And I was kind of hoping that that was going to be the end of the manga, because it would just really have that heavy emotional impact at the end of this series, that what loneliness can do to you. But with finishing this series, like I said, I feel fulfilled, and it makes me question my life. Like when we was going through Hideo Suzuki's day-to-day life, and how he said that he doesn't need to be the hero of his own life, but at least let him be the main character. It's kind of like a motivation. It makes me question, what am I doing with my life? Am I really meeting the goals that I'm meeting? Am I really living my life to the fullest that I can? And I feel like anybody else that really took anything of value out of this manga kind of feels the same way. That in the end, I Am a Hero is just kind of pushing you to do more. It's kind of just serving as a template to do more. It's not saying pick up a shotgun or a rifle and be a hero in the apocalyptic dystopian world, but it's saying to live life and to not settle for less when you know that you can do more. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too deeply into it, but what did you guys think of the ending? What did you guys think of the series as a whole? Because I know a lot of people felt like because the ending happened or concluded the way it did, that the whole series itself was a waste or a scam, and I don't feel that way. I feel that we need to look at the series as a whole. The ending may not have concluded the way people would want it to or meet their criteria, but the series as a whole in itself was beautiful. The artwork was beautiful. The plot was beautiful. The relationships and the interactions was beautiful. The comedy was on point. And the relatability and the realism that is incorporated into I Am a Hero makes it a masterpiece. And to me, it is the best manga that I've read so far. And it will be the top manga. I've said this in a lot of videos that I have a top 5 or a top 10, but I can say definitively in this video that I Am a Hero is the top manga in my own personal collection. And Hanazawa Kengo, thank you. This is VM. Like, comment, share, subscribe.